The
you
melodrama.
ever meet someone and you go, what's your favorite movie? And they name some movie that just came out and you go, fuck you. Where the hell is your allegiance stand? You fucking petty piece of shit. I don't believe anybody's favorite movie can be some movie that came out when they were 35. You're a fucking liar.
No, you know what? I wouldn't say that. As long as it's not necessarily, it came out when they're 35 and they're 36 now. It's like, that was my favorite.
No, yeah.
You have to give it some time. It may have come out when you're 35, but now you're 50. Okay, yeah,
so
okay,
it was
I can see that.
2 months after it came out, I asked somebody at work that, and they were like,
no.
My favorite movie's Wonder Woman.
No.
And I was like, you're so full of fucking shit. I was like, I feel like your favorite things are so tied into your growing up and your adolescence.
A lot of times.
That time of your life, that thing that made you fall, especially movies or TV.
Yeah.
The thing that made you fall in love with those things is usually going to be your favorite. And if you're some fucking person who can just like kick that shit to the curb and be like, yeah, it's this movie that I've seen it once. It came out a month ago. It's my new favorite of all time. Jeez. I don't buy it. I don't fucking buy it. I don't.
No, I totally agree with you.
And especially if it's fucking Wonder Woman. Fuck you.
I wonder what's on the tube.
Welcome back.
Thank you for being a friend.
What you talking about, Willis?
You are a meathead.
No soup for you.
Don't touch that dial, adjust those bunny ears, because what time is it, Jay?
Live from Studio City in Hollywood. It's time for Sitcom My Face. I'm Jay, that's Nick. And what the hell are we talking about this episode, sir?
Tonight, we're going back to some of Norman Lear's early 70s sitcoms, this one being Good Times.
You know, how often is a spinoff of a spinoff any good?
That's true. And I did make the mistake. I think it was last week I was saying that this was a spinoff of All in the Family. This is a once removed from All in the Family. All in the Family spun off Maude with B. Arthur. And Maude...
Beatrice Arthur, I think, at that point.
Yes, Beatrice Arthur. And Maude spun off Good Times.
Yeah, Esther Raleigh was on, I believe it was 45 episodes of Maude. And actually, of all of the Norman Lear-averse, or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Lear-averse, yes.
I think Maude is the one I've probably seen the least and am the least familiar with, which I don't know why, because I love B. Arthur from like Golden Girls and shit,
yeah.
So I'm sure at some point we will get to that. I think that is
Definitely.
streaming as well. It's not like the Drew Carey Show or Newhart where we can't find it. I'm pretty sure I saw that somewhere.
I think I did see Newhart. I think that is now streaming.
What? Where? Tell me.
Tell me now. I'm trying to remember if it was on Hulu, Peacock, or one of those.
Okay. Well, maybe we will have a reason to come back around to old Bob. Anyway. But yeah, Good Times. Esther Raleigh and Maude, I think, was only on like one episode of All in the Family or something. Wasn't it like very few episodes?
Yeah. Maude was on, I think, one or two episodes of All in the Family.
She was Edith's sister, I believe.
Right. And then
Esther Raleigh was her housekeeper? Is that correct?
Housekeeper. Okay. And then, what's his name? James.
John Amos?
John Amos. Thank you. John
Stamos? Oh, wait, wrong one.
Famous Amos. Now, John Amos was on for, I believe, 3 episodes of Maude as Henry
I'm not having
Evans.
a stroke. I got a weird foot cramp. Just keep talking. I'm dying over here.
No, he was on as Henry Evans.
Yes, they changed his name, yeah.
They changed his name for the new sitcom. And did you know that Esther Raleigh it was her request that she didn't want to be, especially in creating this new thing, she didn't want it to be like, oh, okay. She wanted
widow or a abandoned family.
Right. She wanted it to be like a two-parent household, and and John Amos was also on making sure that the African American experience was well represented. And this is a little why also after season 3 we do not see John Amos.
I believe Norman Lear actually did not want a husband on the show, but she was like, hey, I grew up in this type of family. My father was there for me. And like you said, she wanted to represent African Americans the way she saw them and the way she grew up, saying like, hey, there could be good fathers, because especially at that time, So yeah, very cool. And I really do love the dynamic between her and John Amos. I think they're very great together.
Yet, although you did read, I'm sure, Esther Raleigh was, I believe, 19 years the senior of John Amos.
I did not read that. Wow. Okay.
Now, here's another wacky one for you. Well, JJ, played by Jimmy Walker, was only 8 years younger than John Amos, because he was actually 26 when he played JJ when he started, when he was playing him as a 17-year-old.
I was gonna say, he was about 17, I think, when the show started, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, and the first season's only
17.
the first season's only 13 episodes.
Correct.
Well, this aired for 6 seasons, 133 episodes, from 74 to 79 on what network?
This was, I believe, a CBS. Yes, CBS.
So all the Lear shows were CBS?
That's what it seemed. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I remember All in the Family, The Jeffersons, and I'm pretty sure Maude was also a CBS show. Yeah, given it also the spin-off piece there.
What's your history with the show? Did you watch this when you were younger?
I did watch when I was young. This was one of the shows I watched. This, All in the Family, The Jeffersons. Like you said, with Maude, I remember B. Arthur in that, but I don't remember much about the show.
I watched all these on Nick at Night growing up. I don't ever remember Maude being on Nick at Night.
I don't remember that either.
I wonder if that show was just so, like, it had a lot of heavier stuff in it, right? Didn't she have, like, an abortion and that was, like, a big deal or something?
Oh, no, it was a very big deal.
So I wonder if maybe there was just not as much, like, fun involved with that, where they're like, hey, we're not going to throw it on Nick at Night. I don't know.
Hey, let's throw in a fun episode. The abortion one.
The few clips I saw, though, with Raleigh and B, looked like they were having fun. They were doing, like, a dance routine kind of a la, it looked like Lucy and Ethel kind of old school dance routines and stuff. I don't know. It seemed fun, so I'll definitely give it a shot. Did her husband die on that show too, right? Or something? Didn't she have a...
I think later on, because I believe initially, the first thing is I believe they had gotten divorced.
Oh, okay.
So on Maude, I think you dealt with divorce. You dealt with abortion, you dealt with divorce, and I think eventually, like you said, the passing away of the character. And if I remember correctly, wasn't that what's his name? Bill Macy, not William.
Was Conrad Bain also on that show, right? From Different Strokes?
Yes.
Wasn't he one of the stars of that?
Yes, and hey, speaking of Different Strokes, we'll get to that later. We have some crossover of some players from there.
Well, when I talk about, I believe it was the director, we will also come back to Different Strokes. But yeah, so what did you think going back here and visiting old? Did you have good times with good times?
I had good times with good times. And here's a funny thing that my wife brought up, and I had to laugh. Did you ever watch the show This Is Us?
Is that the drama?
Yeah, it was drama, NBC.
I think I saw the movie it was based on or something.
Oh, okay. No, but it was Mandy Moore and Peter, Ventimiglia, and I'm trying to think of.
They were on the show?
Yeah, they were on that show, This Is Us. But This Is Us. It was a great show, but it seemed like at the end of every episode, by the end of every episode, it's like, this family can't catch a break. It's like, oh, this person just had a heart attack. Oh, this person just got in an accident. Oh, this person, like, their house burnt down. It's like,
was that how you felt watching this show?
And that's the thing. She's like, oh my God, This Is Us before This Is Us, because, like, no matter what might go good for the Evans family,
it's always taken away by the end. Yeah,
it's always taken away by the end. In one way, shape, or form. Now, why don't we start with one of the things that, being that we just got off our theme song show. What did you think of the theme song of Good Times?
I love
that
this.
You brought up Chappelle too.
I fucking could not. My buddy at work, I told him yesterday, I was like, I cannot get the fucking Good Times theme song out of my fucking head.
Yes!
I was like, can you just sing anything else to help me get this fucking song out of my head?
That's the crazy part. It's, I think, one of the easiest, like, earworm of a theme song.
Oh,
even though
it's fun, it's upbeat. It's just you want to dance and groove to it.
It's more like gospel-y, yeah, like you said, get up, dance, and it's, but the crazy part is, just like you said, the Chappelle thing there, it's like, yeah, good times, good times, it's like, what are they singing? I know.
Did you watch the Chappelle Show skit after I told you about it?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna give you the quiz, but if you watched it, I won't bring that up.
But yeah,
I really wanted to ask you what a chicken head is and see what your answer was. Or a badonkadonk.
But I love, it's like, I remembered, like, the one line from Good Time, like, when I heard it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember the one line. It's like, keeping your head above water, making a wave when you can. It's like, but everything else was every little good times.
Temporary layoffs, good times. Easy credit rip-offs, good times. Scratching and surviving, good times. Yeah. Hanging in the chola.
Now, this was the music was written by Dave Grusin, but the words were done by Alan Bergman and Marilyn Keith Bergman, who were, I believe, Grammy and Academy Award winners.
Well, when we go back to do another rendition of our theme song ranking, if you don't throw this in the top tier, I'll kick you right in the dick.
Oh, no, this is top tier.
This is a top tier theme song, baby.
Yeah.
All of the Norman Lear shows, I think, were top tier theme songs, to be
Definitely.
honest.
And here's the thing. With Dave Grusin, the Bergmans actually wrote theme songs for, when it came to television series, they did The Sandy Duncan Show, Maude, Good Times. They also did the theme for Alice with David Shire.
You know what? The thing that blew my mind the most was the creator of this show. Well, one of the creators.
Okay, let's see if are you talking about Eric Monty?
No.
Oh, you're talking about Evans.
Do you know who Michael Evans is? Besides the youngest child on Good Times?
Yeah, he was also the child on The Jeffersons.
Yeah. Now, how much power did this fucker have, though? Because he was Lionel Jefferson. He was the first Jefferson that we ever met on All in the Family.
Yeah, Lionel.
Yeah, Lionel. And he came off for the spinoff. He did one season. He left the Jeffersons to do this show. And then had the gall when it was over to go, I'm going back to the Jeffersons. And that other actor was probably like, what the fuck? That other actor was probably like, what the hell, dude?
It's like, wait a second. I thought I was like, no, I'm Lionel.
But I never knew that this was created by Lionel Jefferson and that's the reason he left. I didn't even think about that being the youngest son's name. I mean, it's a pretty common name, I think.
Mm-hmm. But now here's the other thing. The other creator, Eric Monty.
Yeah, tell me about him.
Well, first off, that wasn't his born name. It was Kenneth Williams. But he actually was the co-creator on Good Times, The Jeffersons, and What's Happening.
Oh,
as
wow.
well as What's Happening Now, the spinoff.
Okay.
Now, What's Happening was actually based on a coming-of-age film called Cooley High back in, I believe, 1975.
Perhaps there is some discussion of maybe covering that show in the near future.
Definitely.
So, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, perhaps.
Say no more, say no more.
Unless someone, dies.
Stop it, people, stop
as
it.
it goes, Actually, I seen that Bookman died last year. I'm surprised we didn't think of that when. I'm surprised we didn't do this when he died. Yeah. He died 2022.
And the ironic thing also, when you mentioned Bookman, when they did the live in front of a studio audience where they do a reenactment of like a popular sitcom from the 70s, but with more recent actors, the person who played Bookman was John Amos.
Oh, I did see that one. I remember that. Well, he couldn't very well. I guess they were doing an old episode. They could, but he couldn't really play. James if it was one of the later episodes.
Yeah. So get into the Evans family. We have Florida. We have James, and then we have JJ, the oldest, played by Jimmy Walker.
Jimmy JJ Walker, you got to get it right.
Jimmy JJ Walker.
He never let that go for the rest of his career.
Oh no. and of course, when we talk about Jimmy JJ Walker, what's the one word you think about?
I'm thinking of a stick.
Yeah. Selfie stick. Yeah,
Where'd my lighter go? I would light it. I'm going to light that DYN-O-MITE!
That is correct. Yeah, DYN-O-MITE, which I believe from watching, I think started in the second episode was the first time he uttered a DYN-O-MITE.
Yeah, quite out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's got to be like Urkel when they first heard Urkel go, "Did I do that?" They were like,
"Hey,
cha-ching, baby, fucking cha-ching, baby."
and you also know that Esterali and John Amos later, as the series progressed, they were getting annoyed that it's like, okay, stop focusing so much on JJ and like the antics or whatever and the DYN-O-MITEs. It's like
we'll get to the drama. Finish up the family first, and we'll get to the drama.
Well, let's finish up. Okay, let's go to their only daughter. Their only daughter, Thelma, played by
not Bernadette. Bernadette.
Nadette.
I know.
Status.
I know. I gotta tell you, when I was younger, I kind of had a little crush on Thelma. I thought she was pretty cute.
Oh no, definitely cute. And I think she actually, when she was in New York, she had entered Miss Black America pageants and went on to become Miss Brooklyn.
Yeah, she's a cutie. But yeah, I thought Thelma and JJ's chemistry is great. I cannot believe I never realized that Michael Evans was named after fucking the creator and Lionel there. Hey, he didn't really do much either. Like, he has like 4 credits or something. The guy, Ralph, what's his name? Ralph Carter? Is that Michael's name? Real name?
Mike Evans. Wait, and I didn't see anything about him having a different name.
No, in real life, isn't his name Ralph Carter? Not the creator, the kid. The actor.
Oh, Michael. Oh, I'm sorry.
God damn it. Keep up, Nick.
Sorry. Okay.
You're the names guy, damn it.
Michael was Ralph Carter, yes.
I'm the one who goes the fat one, the hot one. You're the one who knows the names, okay?
Sorry, I got thrown off by the co-creator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and another one that didn't seem to go on to other stuff. Like he went on. He had a song, "When You're Young in Love," that like he sang on Soul Train, and what you want? Extra, read all about it, which charted at number 12, and the other one charted at number 10.
Who's this?
But this is actually Ralph Carter.
Oh, okay. He tried to become a singer, huh?
Yes.
So yeah, that's your main cast for the first 3 seasons.
Well, no, there's one other that's part of the main cast.
Oh, Walona?
Walona,
Yeah.
who is the neighbor.
We mentioned her, but we didn't dive in. Yeah, Janet Dubois, is that her name?
Yep. Jeanette Dubois.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh, yeah, no, she was funny.
One of the tightest casts, like there's not a weak link in the main cast there, I wouldn't say. Not until we get in later seasons, at least.
Yes. It's not even that, like tight cast until later seasons. I think even, just as a whole, the show in later seasons, which we'll get to shortly, it on the whole started diminishing, we'll say. But they did bring in other characters as well.
I think most of the ones I watched too were at least in those first 2 seasons. Those were the ones I seem to remember the most, like as like memorable classic ones. And
yep,
I really didn't remember a lot after James left the show. Like, so he was in the first 3 seasons, and honestly. For how many people kind of come and go out of the show, especially the main cast there, I never thought they were explained too terribly compared to some shows I've seen.
No.
And we talked about Night Court had so many multi-parters. I think this show fucking rivals it.
Yeah.
With multi-part episodes. There was...
Shit, the beginning of season, 5? Yeah, season 5.
A 4-parter?
It's a 4-parter. It's like,
this
oh my
show
God.
Has 8 2-part episodes, 8, and 2 4-part episodes.
Yeah. No, this definitely likes to do the long story.
I remember when we watched Night Court, I'm like, damn, I don't remember so many like 3 to 6-part fucking episodes or whatever. This one, I was going to try to watch more of the 5th and 6th season today.
Right.
And then, of course, I immediately get sucked into a 4-part fucking episode where we introduce,
Penny.
Penny, Janet Jackson, young Janet
Jackson.
Jackson.
If you're nasty.
So I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to get to too many in that season. But yeah, and then the episodes that start season 6 are also 4 parts, and that's where the Florida comes back. Correct. Speaking of which, how many other names are states? How many state names can you name? We got Florida Evans, the star of this show. I was going.
Oh,
you got Dakota, maybe? Yeah, like just names in general. Not on the show, but
Georgia.
Georgia, good one.
Which in one of the episodes, the policeman comes like to say, Miss Georgia Evans, I think somebody took your bicycle. It's like, no, someone snatched your purse. The name's Florida.
Say, Florida, Georgia, Dakota.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What other ones act as a name as well?
York? Can you take out York?
Yeah. Jersey, I don't know. It's like, haven't met many Mr. Pennsylvanias.
Washington count? Can you have a...
Yeah, actually Washington, because...
George Washington Carver.
Yep. No, but there are, I think, people with the first name Washington. Well, think of Washington Irving, the author.
Yeah, but Florida always stuck out as a weird name.
Oh, yes.
We had a buddy who used to come to the bar all the time, and his name was James Evans, and we'd be like, well, when you get home, say hi to Florida for us. But I think, ironically, even though the show's named after, or at least the youngest son's named after one of the creators, he said it's not really autobiographical. So
right.
You would think in that case he would pull from his own life, but I don't really... I mean, he probably did in some aspects, but I don't know how much of it is actually based on him.
And like you said, as far as like recurring characters that became main, you had Bookman, the janitor,
I was happy
super
to
guy.
see him finally get title credit there in the end.
Yeah. Penny, like you said, Janet Jackson, and
there for seasons 5 and 6.
And then Keith, the fiance / then husband of Thelma.
Yeah, having a crush on Thelma, I wasn't too excited when Keith showed up. To be honest, I didn't think he added much to the equation. I thought he was kind of stale.
Yeah, I wasn't big on his character, and this is like you said, these are the later seasons where it didn't have that tightness of the cast, the characters, and the writing.
Every line he delivered kind of drugged down the scene. I felt like took a little bit of the energy out of it, but
I totally get that.
Ben Powers, was that his name?
Who
played Keith?
Yeah, Ben Powers. You're correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually one of the cast members on Laugh-In, which is strange. I'm like, I don't remember him on there, but okay. I think it was like the latter seasons.
So yeah, I mean, I think your real classic episodes are probably going to be there up front in the first 3 seasons. I didn't really think the ones I watched toward the end were bad, but they did have a different dynamic. Yeah,
they just didn't have the same oomph that the earlier season episodes had. It just felt a different way.
And when James was killed off, they say he died in a car accident at the beginning of the 4th season. The family was going to move.
Yes.
Was it Mississippi?
Yes,
Missouri, or one of the something like that.
Because that was the other thing. His character originally was from Mississippi.
Okay. So they get a telegram and they find out that he's been killed in a car accident. And then you have, you know what though? You know fucking what? And I was curious, so I watched the few after that because we have covered 8 Simple Rules and we talked about how John Ritter's death just destroyed every bit of comedy on that fucking show.
Yep.
Because it's all they talked about. Now, granted, John Amos didn't actually die in real life.
Correct.
He left the show over money disputes and creative differences.
Yes, and in fact, John Amos is still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive.
And I found out he's also from, he was born in Newark and grew up in East Orange, New Jersey.
Nice. But when the character is killed, they do a 2-part episode and they move the fuck on back to the comedy.
Yeah. They just go. They move on.
Like he's mentioned, and even better, like his spirit is still there.
Yes.
Like they do reference him lovingly, and I wish Dad was here for this. And even when Florida starts dating again, she's
Carl,
reluctant and misses her husband. Like. So this show actually handles the death of a character very well for a comedy show, in my opinion.
No, I totally agree.
And even those 2 episodes are funny. Like, yeah, sure, there's somber moments, and it's all kind of about Florida grieving or learning how to grieve, and you get the classic, which I've heard you say many a times on here. Damn, damn, damn! You know.
Yes, that. Season 4, episode 2. That was the famous where she it finally gets her. She basically smashes down the punch bowl and the famous damn.
Yeah, great moment. They all come out and hug her and hold her and.
Yep.
Yeah, great moment, and then the season goes on. And yeah, she gets another love interest, this Carl, for only like 6 episodes or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it didn't seem like she had already decided to leave the show, because if that was the plan at the end when he says, like, I have cancer.
Right.
And I'm going to leave state.
Yep.
They probably would have just wrote it where she just went with him then, right?
Right. But that's the thing. They wrote it that she went with him, but
not in that episode.
Not in the episode.
Because in that episode, he decides to stay.
Once we started season 5, that was the case. Yeah. Oh, okay. Florida moved not to Florida.
So, yeah, again, I guess there was creative differences with her as well. She didn't like the way the show was going. She didn't like that JJ was kind of hinted at being a criminal. In certain ways, like he'd say he found something and it was like a joke that he stole things.
A lot of times he insinuates that it's like, oh, This is the first time I went down to the store and I was in the store and I paid for something. It's like apparently a store he had been in many times. Again, insinuating that all the other times.
So I think she started. I don't know if it was jealousy. Maybe he was getting kind of too big for the show and the rest of the cast, but it seemed like she was not happy either with the direction of the show, and she decided to leave for the 5th season.
Right.
So you have this weird thing where the father of the family's dead. The mother now leaves her family to go off with this new husband, and they say they're on their honeymoon in the 4-parter that I watched there. Mm-hmm. But I guess they made a deal for the next season because in the last season she comes back. And yeah, like you said, her only stipulation was, I don't want Carl back, the guy she married. So I think they just kind of hint that he died.
Yes.
That he didn't survive his cancer.
Right. Yeah, like not right away, but yeah, like a few episodes in.
It's a weird world when, and it's happened quite a few times. I want to see if you can name a few where a character gets a spin-off show and then leaves that fucking show. Can you name any other instances of that?
Okay, A Different World.
Yes, very good. Lisa Bonet.
Let's see, what's another one?
And she left because she got pregnant, and I guess they said they didn't want to depict a black girl in college pregnant. They didn't want to perpetuate the stereotype. So she was in one season, I think, and then left. Mm-hmm. And I think she came back for maybe a guest appearance or something, but
possibly. It's like I remember watching that show, but yeah, it wasn't.
That was when she gave birth to Zoe Kravitz, who's famous now as well.
Thank you, Lisa Bonet.
Yeah,
but
oh yeah.
But let's see, another character that spun off and then left that show. Why am I drawing a blank? Well, I know Laverne and Shirley. Shirley wound up leaving after a while. Cindy Williams.
Did she really?
Yeah.
She left Laverne and... What'd they call it after that?
It was still called Laverne and Shirley, which...
What the fuck? Really? I didn't know that.
That's why the last couple of seasons are weird, because if you want to say...
So it's just Penny Marshall on Laverne and Shirley? It's just Laverne?
It's Laverne, it's her dad, it's Carmine, it's Lenny and Squiggy.
There's a spin-off of Perfect Strangers.
Oh, okay. Perfect Strangers spin-off. Shit.
I already mentioned one of the characters earlier. Did I do that?
Oh, shit. Okay.
Family Matters was a spin-off of Perfect Strangers, and Harriet was the character that was spun off, and she actually left in the end of the show.
Right.
She left for like the last 20 episodes or something stupid, like
God,
or maybe even less than that. Maybe it was like 10. She left for like a minute amount of episodes.
Oh my God.
But yeah, also I thought of, we covered Different Strokes, the spinoff Facts of Life. Didn't Carolyn Ray? What's her name?
Charlotte Ray.
Charlotte Ray. She left as well, right? For Cloris Leachman to come in.
Yeah, but that was after a while. That wasn't like right away. But
well,
yeah,
I mean, they weren't all right away, but yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, the Laverne and Shirley one was like after, I think, 6 seasons. So, yeah.
And Harriet on Family Matters was the final season, like the second half of the final season even.
Oh, you know what? Another interesting factoid, I looked at Johnny Brown, who played Bookman.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know what role that Norman Lear wanted him for?
No. Do tell. You mean Buffalo Bud or Booger?
Yep. Norman Lear had considered him to play Lamont in Sanford and Son, but he was unavailable. But, here's another thing with Bookman. Something I've mentioned before. He had a one-off role as Fat Man in the original Ghostbusters television show, that one that I've brought up with Larry Storch and who's the one that played O'Rourke? Forrest
Tucker. Forrest Tucker.
Yeah, it's like with the two of them and a guy in an ape suit. Yeah, Fat Man was played by Johnny Brown.
Man, when I was trying to figure out who that fucking Keith guy was, that Ben Powers, I felt real bad when I saw his one credit.
Yeah, it's
He's in Cheech and Chong's next movie as Welfare Black.
Oh,
I was like, oh God, dude, what the fuck is that?
jeez.
Apparently, Esther Raleigh was uncredited in Cape Fear. She's the one who sees De Niro roll out from under the car.
Oh shit! Yeah.
But it says she's uncredited as like witness or something like that.
Oh my
What
god.
the- And that was like 90s. I don't know how she could go uncredited in something at that point.
Was
but-
that 90s or like late 80s? I'm trying to remember now.
I want to say
Cape
that
Fear.
remake of Cape Fear. I want to say like 91, something like that.
Yeah, you might be right. It was right at that turning point there.
Because The Simpsons, it was new enough to where The Simpsons did a
Yes.
whole episode parody.
Oh
of it.
yeah, with this, not Silent Bob. Holy shit, sideshow Bob. That
Maybe,
was,
probably
was-
in my top 5 favorite episodes of The Simpsons ever was that.
That was a fantastic episode.
So close in parody, they didn't even change the name. They just added an E at the end of Fear. Like they just called it Cape Fear, I think.
Oh my god. That's the one also where I believe, is that the one, the famous like meme that generated with Sideshow Bob keeps stepping on
The
a rake, and then
Yeah.
then he steps on a different rake. Then it's like,
I believe on the commentary, they said that he stepped on the rake once and the episode was short. So they were just like, fucking add in a few more rake hits. And it becomes one of the most classic scenes ever. Where he probably like 10 times gets hit in the face with this rake and just goes...
oh my god.
But I mean, this is actually one of the most fun times I've had revisiting a show I haven't seen in a while.
Same here. Like I was oh wow, yeah. Like when I watched it for the first time, I was so freaking young. So like, there's so much that I didn't get back then.
Yeah, and I know it was probably like 2017 I bought the complete series box set. It's in my storage unit right now. I don't have it with me. But yeah, I have the complete box set. And I remember watching a shit ton of it. And going like, man, I forgot how good this show was. So visiting it again, it is funny because it's got some real melodrama, but I feel like it always is willing to undercut it at the right time.
Yes.
There's a lot of, like you talked about Full House, how the melodrama just got to you and it kind of sickened you. And it never really knew when to pull back at the right time. I feel like this show is the opposite. It's willing to do these great dramatic episodes with these really, kind of like socially aware topics. You're living in the ghetto in the 70s. Yeah. So it's got all this really cool social commentary, but it's got a lot of heart and a lot of laughs.
Definitely. Yeah,
They'll be in the middle of a funeral, and all you gotta do is DYN-O-MITE.
Right. It's but like you said, yeah, I think it balanced very well, knowing that it's still a sitcom, but handling all these topics without becoming too melodramatic.
So I was looking up the writers and the directors, as I like to do.
Yes.
The most prominent director I found actually did 72 episodes of Good Times. Garen Keith was his name.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this man, we like this man apparently, because let me tell you what else this guy directed.
Different Strokes.
140 episodes of Diff'rent Strokes.
Yep.
Holy fuck. Remember the show we talked about with Klugman and John Stamos? He directed 3 episodes of that. The one we said we gotta find. That's called You Again. He did 23 episodes of the Jamie Foxx Show. He did 3 episodes each of Family Matters and Growing Pains. He did 87 episodes of 227, which I've never seen, but I've always meant to watch, with Jack A. and Florence again, Marla Gibbs from Jeffersons. He did Martin, 113 episodes of Martin.
Holy shit.
I thought it was funny too that the guy who played Carl, I forget what's his name. You might have it in front of you. I'm not sure.
Moses Gunn.
He was two different characters. Also, he was on an episode of Maude and an episode of The Jeffersons as different characters, which is funny when you think of these are all in the same universe.
Well, I got one better for you. When I was watching, I watched the episode where Michael doesn't want to be bused to basically the upper part of town to another school. The principal or vice principal comes by. It's Ron Glass from Barney Miller.
Oh.
Then a few episodes later, a blind encyclopedia salesman selling encyclopedias of Black history comes by and played by Ron Glass. I'm like, wait a second. I understand, like, later on in a sitcom, but shit, this is like 5, 6, episodes difference. It's the same season.
My coworker told me that on the theme song episode, by the way, he said Barney Miller is one of the best.
Oh, it is. It is. It's such a well-known, very catchy. I love it. It's instrumental.
I didn't know who the social worker was on the fourth part when Janet Jackson's coming in as Penny.
Yes.
But when they opened the door and that woman came in, the audience went nuts like they knew her. That's another one of those moments where I'm like, I'm not sure who she is, but I can tell the audience is like, woo!
Well, I loved some of the guest stars that they had on this series. It's amazing. Like, they had Stymie on this show.
Elaborate, please.
Ever hear of the Little Rascals, our gang?
Oh, like the OG Stymie?
Yes, Stymie.
Oh.
He actually was in 5 episodes.
Well, maybe not the OG, because I think that actually started as a radio show, but the TV Stymie?
Yeah. Or the old little vignettes movie things or whatever.
Our Gang?
Yes, Our Gang. Let's see. So, some of the other fun ones that we're on. What's his name?
Seth Rogen and James Franco. No.
Yeah. Hey, here's a name. See if you remember. Alvin Childress.
Yes. Why? Yes, Childress. Why does that name sound familiar?
Because we did the sitcom with him, his main sitcom before.
Childress. Why can't I picture who that is?
He wore a cab driver hat.
Cab driver?
Yep.
What the fuck? What is it?
Amos and Andy.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah.
Alvin Childress. Yeah. Hell,
I forgot they were cab drivers in that.
Yeah.
What was your favorite episode that you watched, you think?
How
many did you get in?
I want to say 11 or 12.
Okay.
It's definitely got to be in the first 3 seasons. The first episode was excellent.
Yeah, good pilot. I really liked in the interview, the father James goes to a job interview.
Yes.
And they did a really smart way of giving you all of the exposition and backstory through the interviewer's questions, which I thought was really good.
It's true. Yeah,
that's good writing instead of them just fucking blabbing about bullshit. It makes sense when you're at a job interview and they're asking you all these stupid questions.
Yeah, actual pertinent things to the interview rather than, like you said, just nonsense. And
even the second episode was like the Black Jesus episode, which is great too.
I love that one.
Yeah.
That was so great. And who was Black Jesus?
Ned the Wino, who eventually becomes a character that we see.
I love it.
My favorite one, I think, that I watched was it season 2, where they find like the sex education book, and they think it's Thelma's, and James is making a big deal. Oh, no baby girl of mine's gonna be reading this dirty magazine bullshit. Then they find they think it's JJ's. And then he's like, "Oh, my boy wants to learn about his whole tune changes." I think it ended up being Michael's.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. I also watched Michael Michael gets suspended. The one where he calls his teacher racist because he's saying that they're talking about things and they're leaving out pertinent parts of history. Like, it's like, oh, okay, well, George Washington, he was the father of the country. Yeah, but he owned slaves. It's like, oh, yeah, well, because he took out another book from the library about some of the African-American actual, people in history, like Crispus Attucks, the first man killed in the start of the Revolutionary War, things like that. So, it was interesting that, okay, here they go, talking about a book and talking about, teaching, African-American history. I'm like, wait a second. Shit, we're back here again. if you look at recent things going on. It's like,
I love that they called Michael the militant midget.
The militant midget.
That was like a really cool character for him too. Like, he's always out protesting, especially in the early ones.
Yes.
He's always out involved in some kind of matter, and it always worked really well. It usually, a lot of episodes started with him storming in the door, angry or fired up about whatever the matter is he's protesting, and that kind of fuels these really fun conversations about the matter, Mm-hmm. So even though the show is very confined to the apartment most of the time, you still feel like there's a big world outside that all these characters are kind of related to, which some shows, they just feel like 6 people in a living room. But so much of the outside world, gang violence or robberies, this show's very affected by all of those things.
Oh, yeah. Well, the one where James gets a gun. Like,
oh, yeah.
They're talking about, like, they put additional locks on the door because, again, Florida got her purse snatched. And at one point in the episode, Thelma, a guy tries to assault her, but she gets, she scratched him and she gets away.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, the kid upstairs, they think that did he shoot another friend?
No, I think he himself.
Yeah, and he's like, that's my gun. I know it's my gun.
Right, because it was the same caliber, and it's like, and some of the things that he actually said, it's like, like when James and Florida are arguing about having a gun in the house, is, again, the more things change, the more they stay the same. It's some of the same conversations that go on in America today. So it's crazy that, okay, they're highlighting it here back in 1975.
That's the thing. This show is timeless.
Yes,
except for the way it looks.
Yes.
The film, the way it's filmed is outdated. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I mean, topically, conversationally, sure, some of the lingo is going to be outdated, but the fashion. But of course, I don't think JJ's fashion was ever in style.
JJ's fashion was some of that even in fashion.
You know what I did appreciate a lot though, and I don't really notice it on a lot of shows. Say he gets a shirt in an episode, he gets it as a gift. That shirt will show up later, periodically. Yeah. And like, you'll see his wardrobe repeat, which just adds to the fact that they are poor.
Yep.
And the continuity is crazy good on stuff like that. Like, I remember specifically, Willona gives him a shirt for his birthday. He holds it up. It's crazy. And then a future episode, I think it was even like 2 seasons later, he's wearing that shirt.
Yeah. Oh, but even more. I think it was like the beginning of season 1. What's his name? Did James get him a onesie? Basically, that onesie.
Oh, the red one, yeah. And he
the
wears
red onesie, which he sleeps in for most of the rest of the series.
Yeah. Well, and I was thinking of things like Friends, where the pretty women don't want to wear the same outfit again. I don't know that they ever fucking repeated an outfit.
I don't think they did.
On this show, they clearly have like a set wardrobe, at least for the men. I feel like the women maybe had a little more leeway. Right. But like the coats they wear, it's always the same coat. The hats are always there. The scarves, like those things are constant, and it just adds to the realism.
Definitely. One of the episodes that I enjoyed was also the IQ test. Did you watch that one?
Mm-mm.
Okay, because Michael, like he's one of the brightest kids in school, and he comes home and he scored like the lowest out of his whole class because he was like, as he normally is, he got annoyed at the test because he knew some of the ways the questions were worded that a lot of the other kids are not going to understand it, being in the neighborhood that he grew up in. Choose the right other word. It's like cup and blank, cup and table, cup and saucer, cup and like all these things. And it's like, well, yeah, it's like I knew it was cup and saucer, but like so many of my friends don't even know what a saucer is. They never had one.
That's how it was that Mitch Hedberg had the bit about the. I forget what kind of test he was talking about, but he was like, "Man, sometimes it ain't our fault on these damn tests. They word shit crazy." He's like, "I had a question. It was like, do you like cake or PCP?" It's like, what the hell? How the hell do you answer that?
Oh, and of course that question reminds me of one of the greatest moments in sitcom history. the driving test of Jim on Taxi. We will get to that at some point. We must.
What does the yellow light mean?
Yeah, but
slow down.
What
does?
But even before that, him filling out the application, it's like eyes. It's like no, don't put two. It's like, okay, what color are my eyes? It's like, oh, bloodshot's not a color. Just.
Oh, that was on Married with Children as well. I think when Al's filling out something for Peg. What color are my eyes? He goes, bloodshot.
But but the application's like, what's it like? Mental disorder or drug dependency. It's like, oh, that's a hard choice.
Christopher Lloyd.
Just put no.
Can't wait till we get to Taxi.
Oh yeah, same here. But yeah, no. I think IQ Test was a great episode. Yeah, Black Jesus was a great one. where James it's like nope, he's going back up.
The first season's really strong, and
very strong
to me. I think the characters are so well established. So well established too that even if you get a kind of a dull episode, you never really get bored.
Correct.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this, and it is interesting. Given the fact that you lose two of your cast members, one comes back. I don't know how often that happens either. Where
I don't think that's a very common.
Yeah, but even the people running the show, they knew we need her back. They said that the ratings dipped quite a bit in that 5th season. Yeah, and they thought it was missing a little bit of the anchor. I think she's kind of the anchor.
Oh, definitely.
She's Florida is such an interesting character in that. Not only is she so full of heart, she was like the head of the house at that time was probably kind of crazy, right? Mm-hmm. You have this woman who almost dominates her he attempts to dominate her, but you knew she was really in charge of that house.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't always go for the joke either. She's got an interesting delivery where she's kind of naturally funny.
Oh, yeah. No, she's naturally funny and will also be the one to set up someone, too.
Yeah, she's really good about letting the people around her be funny. And I really noticed that when I watched the Maude clips. Because in the Maude clips, she seems more goofy and over the top. Mm-hmm. Like, she's kind of supposed to be the comedic part of the team.
Right.
But in this... she doesn't feel like that. She doesn't feel like she's the one trying to steal all the jokes. But and I was thinking so, you're at work. You do act different with people at work than you would with your own family. You have more of a comfortable, so you can be a little less on, I feel like. So I thought the character really worked.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, like you said, it's just in a very different way than we're used to.
Yeah.
Now, just a couple of other nods to guest stars. I said different strokes. Hey, why don't we bring Gary Coleman in for a couple of episodes in season 5 as a classmate of Penny's? And it's ironic because then Janet Jackson plays Willis's girlfriend later on Different Strokes.
Yeah, I get.
And Penny's biological mom on the show is played by Cookie Fields. And wouldn't you know it, her daughter Kim Fields shows up on a couple of season 6 episodes. Oh, not Cookie Fields, Chip Fields. Sorry, I was thinking of a chocolate chip cookie.
What the fuck?
And a glass of milk because I was just looking at the word wrong glass.
Yeah, so what do you think? Are you ready to pop this in your list?
Oh, I almost forgot. Wait, where's my phone? Okay, hold on. Let me bring up my list. Let's do it.
This is our 31st sitcom. What are you thinking there, Pally? Where do you want the good times to reign supreme?
Ooh. You know, I think that one's got to go down some.
That's what she said.
Hey, ho. I'm actually, it's going to be by number 10.
Number 10. Wow.
Yeah.
What's above it? What's below it?
Raising Hope and News Radio.
That's good company right there.
Oh, yeah. How about you?
Actually, right above it, I got Raising Hope. And
Wow.
right below it, I got Honeymooners.
Wow.
Good Times is now my number 7.
Nice. I was going to say, yeah, like on both our lists, it's got some really good company.
Yeah, this is my new number 7 out of 31.
Wow. And I'm you know, like during between episodes, I think I'm going to rearrange a little of my list because I'm looking at some of them like, you know what? That's got to be a little lower. So actually, Good Times might wind up being a little higher once I'm done.
Yeah, and you don't succumb to recency bias. That happens sometimes.
Right.
When you remember things a little fonder than they are.
Oh no, definitely. I know that feeling. Just like again, you and I talk about, and you always have to convince me each time with Full House. It's like, oh yeah, no, for its time in that. Oh yeah, this was big sitcom, and it's like, oh yeah, that's right. It's just like, again, the melodrama.
It's like when you ever meet
melodrama.
someone and you go, "What's your favorite movie?" and they name some movie that just came out, and you go, "Fuck you! Where the hell is your allegiance stand? You fucking petty piece of shit!" I don't believe anybody's favorite movie can be some movie that came out when they were 35. You're a fucking liar.
No, you know what? I wouldn't say that. As long as it's not necessarily, it came out when they're 35 and they're 36 now. It's like, oh, that was my favorite.
No, yeah.
You have to give it some time. It may have come out when you're 35, but now you're 50. Okay, yeah,
So
okay,
it was
I can
like
see that.
2 months after it came out, I asked somebody at work that, and they were like,
No.
My favorite movie's Wonder Woman.
No.
And I was like, you're so full of fucking shit. I was like, I feel like your favorite things are so tied into your growing up and your adolescence.
A lot of times.
That
yeah.
time of your life, that thing that made you fall, especially movies or TV.
Yeah.
The thing that made you fall in love with those things is usually going to be your favorite. And if you're some fucking person who can just like kick that shit to the curb and be like, yeah, it's this movie that I've seen it once. It came out a month ago. It's my new favorite of all time.
Jeez.
I don't buy it. I don't fucking buy it. I don't.
No, I totally agree with you.
And especially if it's fucking Wonder Woman. Fuck you.
Oh, you know what? I also have to tell you with two more people that were guest stars. Tony Burton. Remember in the Rocky movies, Apollo's trainer.
No.
You don't remember that guy? You're like,
No.
because then he, like after Apollo died in Rocky IV. Spoiler alert.
What?
Oh no. He actually takes
Did
on.
he have a son by chance?
he takes on training Rocky to fight Drago. Well, he's one of the guest stars, and then later, earlier on, Carl Weathers, Apollo himself, is one of the guest stars. I'm like, so you had Apollo and his trainer, like, on Good Times.
Action Jackson?
Yes, Action Jackson himself.
I fucking love that movie. You remember who? Actually, Sitcom star. Remember who the villain was in that movie?
Oh,
It was Coach.
Oh!
Was it Craig T. Nelson?
Yes, Nelson. Yes.
He was the fucking bad guy in that.
It's
I
hard
love when a
picturing him
sitcom
as
star
anything but Coach.
shows up as a fucking villain. Pretty ruthless one too.
True. God, I have to go back and watch that one again. It's been a while. Did you hear about this? Just like another quick thing. In September 2020, it was announced that the series would receive an animated sitcom revival
Of Good Times?
of Good Times. With Norman Lear executive producing alongside Seth MacFarlane and Steph Curry of the NBA. So I'm waiting to hear anything more about that.
What year did you say that was announced? 2020?
Yeah, the end of 2020.
I wonder how many of the original cast would be involved in that.
I don't know. Yeah, being that, some have passed.
Well, like I said, they're talking about doing that with Married with Children.
True. So yeah, we have some more things to possibly look forward to.
There could be a precedent. I mean, how many sitcoms have been animated shows? Can you think of any offhand?
Well,
I feel like Gilligan's Island had an animated show, didn't
yes,
it?
it did. Well, it was Gilligan's Planet.
Yeah.
The Addams Family also
Addams Family, of course.
Animated at times, mostly for Scooby-Doo team-ups. I'm trying to think of sitcoms themselves. I know Genie was also at times animated. Of I Dream of Genie.
Besides the opening credits.
No, besides the opening credits, like again, we're talking about Hanna-Barbera and Scooby-Doo join-ups and things and the Laugh Olympics.
I feel like we're missing some real obvious ones, but yeah. So write in the comments below what other sitcoms have been animated shows.
Right. And not an animated sitcom of itself, such as The Simpsons, Family Guy, The PJs, there was some crossover here too.
Yeah. The one older neighbor lady she showed up in the funeral episode for James.
Wanda.
She was in so many great 90s comedies.
Yes.
A few Wayans Brothers movies I remember her from.
Yeah. Yeah. And while I was watching things, I went to my wife, Tracy. It's like, what's she from? Because my wife is great at pulling out, you know who that person was in that show or that movie with this. Yeah, she's a walking, talking IMDb.
I think she was the grandma in Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood who's always smoking pot and
God,
shit.
I think you're right.
And she does like the Dead Presidents or whatever parody.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she was cracking grandma in a lot of shit in the 90s that I remember her from.
Yep.
A lot of black comedies. Always funnier and shit. Especially that movie. If you haven't seen Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood, that movie is funnier than shit. One of the best parody movies ever, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Message!
But, Jay, if the listeners, watchers enjoy the show, what should they also do?
Well, you give me a call. Maybe we can go out on a Saturday night, have a beer.
Woohoo!
You mean, yeah. Facebook.com/sitcommyface. We're on Twitter, sitcommyface. You can find this boy over here on twitch.tv/netnig191. You can find me, twitch.tv/bidwellfog. You can find my other YouTube channel where I play video games, Noob Sweat with JJ Bidwell. You can listen to his other show, What Exit Jersey Stories.
That's
available wherever podcasts are found. You can listen to my old show, Hard to Swallow with JJ Bidwell. You can email us, sitcommyface@gmail.com. You can comment on the YouTube videos. We had a great comment on our last episode. It was the Night Court episode. And someone was very kind, saying that they found our show, they enjoy it, and pointed out the fact that although it wasn't, I guess, the court in the opening of Night Court, that kind of became a tourist attraction in New York.
Yes, that Night Court in New York apparently was a tourist attraction.
And the new one, I told him, is on the back lot at Warner Brothers. I saw a Warner Brothers tour video, and they have now built the facade, I guess, or maybe they were using an existing one, but it's on Warner Brothers.
Yeah, you've been watching, by the way?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
No. I'm done. What else we got? You got anything else you want to plug, throw out there?
No, I think that's about it. And again, if there's a particular sitcom that you'd like us to cover, if there's a particular subject regarding sitcoms that you'd like to cover, like our last episode, which it seems people enjoyed, where we went over the sitcom theme songs.
So the comment on the Facebook video from Karen Moss pointed out that It's Gary Shandling Show was her favorite theme song.
Yes.
Which I think you've brought up as one of your favorites before.
Yes, it's a self-aware theme song.
All right.
So, Jay, what should the good people do for us?
They should stay away from DYN-O-MITE and Sitcom My Face, baby.
Yeah, Sitcom Our Face for good times. Every time.
Oh, yeah. Hanging in the chair line.
Goodbye, everyone.
Hey, we lucky we got 'em. Antibiotics.
Good time. Goodbye.